Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Omniverse of Nick and Part 1 to What If Vegeta Became the First Super Saiyan? I am your host, Nick. And like always, before we begin today's episode, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the Omniverse of Nick channel, and comment your favorite part or parts of ongoing or past stories, as well as future recommendations for what-ifs and general discussion that you might get to see on the channel in the future. With all that out of the way, today's tale is the next Dragon Ball story, and it's a back-to-back Vegeta tale, not with him getting immortality like the last one, obviously, but with him getting a certain power-up before someone else, and that's regarding Super Saiyan. Because if we all remember, if you're a hardcore Dragon Ball fan, Goku was the first one, not Vegeta, to get the legendary, quote-unquote, Super Saiyan transformation. Vegeta prattled on about it for like the entirety of the Namek and Frieza arc, and Goku got it. And it was all down to him not being pure. But this tale is going to discuss what would happen if he did get the power-up first. So the story begins with Krillin blasting Vegeta in his hopes of exploiting the Zenkais, Dende healing him, and Vegeta standing before fourth form Frieza and powering up. But this time, this is no ordinary power-up. And it's not just the Zenkai that is making Vegeta undergo a different kind of transformation. This time, he has the same power, but thoughts are ramming through his head as he's powering up. His father, his planet, the slavery under Frieza, the destruction of his world, the death of his people, and it all bursts into one big explosion and turns Vegeta into the very first legendary Super Saiyan. Frieza looks absolutely dumbfounded because he wasn't expecting Vegeta to actually change or anything like that. The least he expected was like a grade ape or something. But Vegeta smirks at Frieza and says that he wasn't lying. He now stands before Frieza as not only the Prince of Saiyans, but the legendary Super Saiyan. And the last thing that Frieza will ever see, case in point, he flies at the speed of light right up to Frieza and punches his hand square through Frieza's gut in seconds. Frieza swipes Vegeta's eyes and gets out his fist from his grasp and gets some distance. But he is now crippled with a gaping wound through his chest, bleeding profusely, and it's only been just a bit since he transformed into his fourth form. So he immediately has to go 100% to keep from dying, but that's also a big risk on his part. So literally, a few seconds, not even before Goku arrives, Vegeta and Frieza are locked in fierce grappling combat. In a brutal struggle, much more brutal than Frieza and Goku's fight, and that was very good. But Vegeta stops the grappling, brutal struggle with a knee to Frieza's jaw. Now, Frieza's not only with a gaping wound through his chest, he's not only using 100%, which is draining, but he's now running out of options because if he keeps up any stalling tactics or anything and doesn't go all out from the start like he's trying to do right now, he's gonna die. So, he throws out 2 discs and asks Vegeta, if you're really the legendary Super Saiyan, let's see you catch these. And he throws them right at Vegeta. But Vegeta retaliates, jumping up into the air and launching at full power, not risking anything, a full power Big Bang attack, which collides with the discs and doesn't cut them, because even though Vegeta is weaker than Goku when he turns Super Saiyan, Frieza is very much weak with the gaping wound and 100%. So he has to resort to a death ball and powering everything that he's got to try and circulate not only the discs, but his death ball into Vegeta's attack and he's trying to push it towards Vegeta, but it's not enough because he doesn't have enough strength. The gaping wound, the 100%, it's all killing Frieza even faster. So he runs out of energy, spits up blood, reverts back to his lowest percent in his fourth form, and drops to the ground, releasing all the energy from both of his attacks combined into one, which Vegeta takes advantage of, and yells to Frieza one more time before he pushes his attack and Frieza's towards him that he messed with the wrong race. And he should have killed Vegeta when he had the chance. And with those final words, he pushes not only his Big Bang attack, but Frieza's combined Disc and Death Ball attack right towards Frieza. Frieza tries to retaliate, to block, to do something, but he is caught in the explosion. Meanwhile, after all this has happened, King Kai, Kami, and Mr. Popo have arranged the Shenron, bringing everyone of those who were killed by Frieza and his men, and Porunga, and everything like that whole plan, into fruition. And Dende is there too. And he's about to go make the wish to the dragon to get everyone off the planet, but there's really no need for that, because Vegeta says that he's not going to kill anybody here. He knows most likely what everybody is up to and everything like that. Or he really doesn't care to, because his concern is what he senses coming towards them. Goku has gotten out of the rejuvenation chamber, sensing that Frieza's dead and Vegeta got a high power. Vegeta says that he's not interested in anybody else. He doesn't care if they go back to Earth or if the Nameks stay here. He doesn't care about any of that. What he cares now that he has this power-up and has killed Frieza is finally settling the score with Kakarot. And he could think of no better time than right now. Vegeta immediately turns into a Super Saiyan. Goku goes 20 times Kaioken. Right off the bat, sensing that this power could very well eclipse his own if he doesn't go all out and try to find some kind of opening or see what this form is capable of, test the weaknesses. But Goku figures out really quickly Vegeta's power far eclipses his. Not far, because he's able to land at least like a few punches, maybe a few like blasts, maybe a good enough Kamehameha, but he just can't beat Vegeta. And unlike the immortal Vegeta, he's not going to let Goku hit him. So Vegeta wins the fight. But since he has killed Frieza, his biggest enemy, and finally beat Goku, he's feeling in a good mood. So he decides to let Goku and all of his friends go. And they go into their ship. Vegeta finds a Ginyu pod, and he heads out to deal with King Cold and the remaining Frieza Force members. With all that said, that means that King Cold is not going to come to Earth. But that doesn't mean that, like the Immortal story, that nothing's going to happen. Because somewhere deep inside Namek, which isn't exploded, Frieza stirs. And soon enough, he awakes to find nothing but rubble around him, a still stable planet, and he's all alone. No Super Saiyan, no nothing. And he's still very crippled with a gaping wound through his chest, and he can barely even stand. And when he tries to fly, he just coughs up blood and can barely fly. And he knows that if he doesn't do something, he can't risk going to his ship like this, because he could either die or the Namekians would find him and he's far too weak to fight them. Meanwhile, since the Namekians did not lose their home and have to relocate, do all that stuff, they stay on Namek, which means Guru eventually passes and the elder rule is put on to Mori, and the Namekians are starting to rebuild, which has barely been like a day. Dende is off on his own when Frieza encounters him, and he knows just what to do. He raises his finger down to the little Namekian and demands that he heals him like he did for all of his enemies, especially that cursed Super Saiyan. He doesn't? He'll make sure that he never comes back ever again. He's surprised enough that he's alive. Dende knows that even though he despises Frieza for what he did, and, you know, the whole Vegeta and all that thing, Dende's literally being threatened here. He can't do anything. So, he reluctantly, very, 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 very reluctantly, has to heal Frieza. Frieza points his fingers towards Dende, says that he should erase him from existence, but he's got bigger people to kill. And before Frieza can even say or do anything to either go back on his word or do anything else, a bunch of warrior Namekians have sensed that Frieza is alive, but Frieza swipes them away and finds his ship still on the planet before the Namekians can even do anything. Luckily, since Vegeta basically thought that he destroyed it, he wouldn't have another reason to, because that would also probably destroy the Ginyu ships for him to get out of here, or something like that. You know, there'd really be no point in Vegeta blowing it up. So, yeah. Frieza finds it, operates it, it's still good, and finds out that his father has been killed. How will Frieza get his intended revenge? Will he train? Will he master 100%? Will he find the backup forces of the Third Stellar region? But that's all for now. What will happen next? How'd you like this episode? And what is your favorite part so far? With all that out of the way, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the Omniverse of Nick channel, and comment your favorite part or parts of ongoing or past stories, so that way you can also recommend your own what-ifs and general discussion for the future, and stay tuned to all stuff on the channel. With all that out of the way, hope you enjoyed this first part, and stay tuned.